Welcome. You're watching Eagle News America. I'm Ace Ramirez coming to you from Washington, D.C. It's Wednesday evening here, June 16, 2021. Tonight we have updates from our correspondents across North and Central America. For tonight's live reports, Thomas Likeness in Edmonton, Alberta.
Alberta on the verge of eliminating all COVID-19 restrictions. May Ann Manzano-Gorzon in Sicklerville, New Jersey.
New Jersey ends moratorium on utility shut-offs, gives 6-month grace period.
Myla Simbulan in Swarthmore, Pennsylvania.
More than 400,000 Pennsylvanians have successfully filed for unemployment benefits using the new unemployment compensation system.
Randy Bayuga in Pearisburg, Ohio.
Peloton coming to Ohio. Ohio Senate cuts proposed broadband funding.
Jade Farron in Oxnard, California.
Disneyland theme parks update safety protocols following California's full reopening.
In Ciudad de Panama, May Davila tells us about Panama Canal welcoming transit of about 97% of the world's fleet of container ships. In Seattle, Michael Hudson reports about Washington State staying on course for its June 30th full reopening. For EBC Food, Gia Ganuelas Roldan in San Antonio will show us how to make winter melon milk tea boba. For tonight's roundtable, we will talk about that perfect combination, iced tea plus you and me. Our coverage begins now. President Joe Biden and President Vladimir Putin meet in person for the first time today in Geneva. President Biden says he told President Putin during their meeting that he will not tolerate Russia interfering in U.S. democracy.
Will not tolerate attempts to violate our democratic sovereignty or destabilize our democratic elections, and we would respond. The bottom line is, I told President Putin that we need to have some basic rules of the road that we can all abide by.
President Biden says discussions with President Putin were positive.
The tone of the entire meetings, I guess it was a total of 4 hours, was good, positive. There wasn't any strident action taken.
President Joe Biden voices confidence that his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin does not want a new Cold War.
I think that the last thing he wants now is a Cold War. Without quoting him, which I don't think is appropriate.
The president also says Putin's criticism of U.S. human rights in regards to the U.S. Capitol riot in January is ridiculous.
My response is kind of what I communicated, that I think that's a ridiculous comparison. It's one thing for literally criminals to break through cordon, go into the Capitol, kill a police officer, and be held unaccountable, and it is for people objecting and marching on the Capitol and saying, you are not allowing me to speak freely. You are not allowing me to do A, B, C, or D. This is about practical, straightforward, no-nonsense decisions that we have to make or not make. We'll find out within the next 6 months to a year whether or not we actually have a strategic dialogue that matters.
Meanwhile, after talks with President Biden in Geneva, Russian President Vladimir Putin says Moscow and Washington agreed for their ambassadors to return. Putin says they will return to their place of work. When exactly is a purely technical question. Diplomatic relations between Moscow and Washington had all but broken down since President Biden took office. After Biden likened Putin to a killer, Russia in March took the rare step of recalling its ambassador Anatoly Antonov and said the U.S. envoy John Sullivan to Moscow likewise should return to Washington. Sullivan left Moscow in April as the two countries announced a wave of tit-for-tat sanctions and expulsions of diplomats. In May, Russia formally designated the United States as an unfriendly state, barring its embassy from employing Russian nationals. The only other country on that list is the Czech Republic. Putin says his first face-to-face meeting with President Biden was absolutely constructive, and the two sides agreed to start consultations on cybersecurity. Now for COVID news. COVID-19 might have been here in the country weeks earlier than first detected. A new antibody testing study examining samples originally collected through the National Institutes of Health's All of Us research program found evidence of SARS-CoV-2 infections in 5 states earlier than had initially been reported. These findings were published in the journal Clinical Infectious Diseases. The results expand on findings from a Centers for Disease Control and Prevention study that suggested SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19, was present in the US as far back as December 2019. In the All of Us study, researchers analyzed more than 24,000 stored blood samples contributed by program participants across all 50 states between January 2nd and March 18, 2020. Researchers detected antibodies against SARS-CoV-2 using 2 different serology tests in 9 participant samples. These participants were from outside the major urban hotspots of Seattle and New York City, believed to be key points of entry of the virus in the US. The positive samples came as early as January 7 from participants in Illinois, Massachusetts, Mississippi, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Most positive samples were collected prior to the first reported cases in those states, demonstrating the importance of expanding testing as quickly as possible in an epidemic setting. To learn more about this study, visit nih.gov and researchallofus.org. For today's COVID-19 numbers, according to the Coronavirus Resource Center of Johns Hopkins University in Medicine, as of 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday, June 16, the number of cases of COVID-19 reported worldwide is now over 176,711,000. Top 3 on the list of countries with recorded cases: US has more than 33.4 million. India has more than 29.6 million. Brazil with more than 17.5 million. This virus has now claimed more than 3,824,000 lives worldwide. Top 3 countries with the most number of COVID-19 related deaths: still US number 1 over 600,000, Brazil with over 490,000, India with over 379,000. Total vaccine doses administered worldwide are now at 2,434,735,000. For Yemeni fisherman Faris Abdulhakim and his friends, the day was like any other as they headed out to sea to earn a living in the war-torn country until they struck gold in the belly of a whale. Abdulhakim relates how he was among 35 fishermen who stumbled upon a floating sperm whale carcass in February, about 16 miles off the coast of the southern city of Aden. He says they dragged the dead mammal back to shore, where they sliced it open and struck floating gold, or ambergris, a rare substance formed in the whale's digestive system, which is used in making perfume. The 280-pound lump of ambergris was sold to an Emirati businessman for more than $1.5 million, an unimaginable sum for many living in what the United Nations says is one of the world's poorest countries. Some of the money was used to help those in need in the community, while the rest was split among the group of fishermen. Yemeni fishermen have traditional knowledge that ambergris, a waxy substance used to stabilize the scent in perfumes, can be found in sperm whales, but actually coming across one is a vanishingly rare event. The discovery has transformed their lives. Abdul Hakim says he heads out to sea every day in search of his daily catch, and on one of those days, they found a dead whale, one full of ambergris. Up next, updates from Panama, Alberta, and New Jersey. Eagle News America will return in a moment. Stay with us.
Start up your weekday mornings with edutainment, news and information kasama ang inyong paboritong Net25 shows. Samahan ang inyong paboritong morning barkada sa Pambansang Almusal at 5 a.m. Tatalakayin mga pangunahing balita sa pagtutulungan ng Radyo Agila at Net25. Samahan si Weng de la Fuente sa Balitalakayan, 7 a.m. Saganang Mamamayan at 8 a.m. NHK World at 9 a.m. Eagle News International at 10 a.m. At mga balitang dapat niyong malaman mula sa Agila, Pilipinas at 11 a.m. This is your morning startup every weekday mornings only here on Net25.
Ako ay nagbalik at muli kang nasilayan. Pakisabi na lang na mahal ko siya, di na baling may mahal siyang iba. Ilang awit pa ba ang awitin o giliw ko? Ilang ulit pa ba?
Hello guys, how are you? Ronnie Liang here, and isa po ako sa mga guest artists or performers sa Letters and Music itong darating na Sabado, June 19, 1 to 2 p.m. Abangan niyo po ako, magkita-kita po tayo dito lang sa Net25.
Natahimik at buong ligaya.
Events happen around us all the time. In our community, in our country, around the world. Events that affect people, move communities, or simply inspire us. Interesting events that people need to know. In these interesting times, we continue to be a competent partner in delivering news about these events. Fast, accurate, balanced. Eagle News, because we live in interesting times.
Innovation, digital disruption, globalization. Startups, micro, small, and medium enterprises, as well as large corporations, all face interesting challenges in the market today. Peek into the world of exciting opportunities and partnerships to drive growth with the latest business news and information. We are open for business.
Your weekly dose of entrepreneurial inspiration
to update you on the latest developments in the world of business. Get up close and personal with CEOs and thought leaders to help you discover valuable insights. Sharpen your instincts for smart decision-making with the latest markets and economic trends, disruptive ideas, global innovation,
social entrepreneurship,
and other leading-edge business ideas. Join the conversations to create a more vibrant environment for entrepreneurship. Catch Open for Business, from vision to action.
Back, you are watching Eagle News America. Let's head over to Central America. World's container ships are now welcome to transit through the Panama Canal. In Ciudad de Panama, EBC's May Davila files this report.
Thank you. Ahead of the 5th anniversary of its expansion on June 26, The Panama Canal has increased the maximum allowable length for vessels transiting the Neo-Panamax locks. The increase means that now 96.8% of the world's fleet of container ships can transit the Panama Canal, shortening routes and benefiting economies around the world. Panama Canal Administrator Ricarte Vasquez Morales boasts that this change was made possible by the Panama Canal team's experience operating the Neo-Panamax locks safely and reliably over the past 5 years. The extended maximum length overall will provide shipping lines with greater flexibility in making decisions for the deployment and construction of vessels with greater capacity that can transit through the Panama Canal. This announcement comes after a series of trial transits to confirm the safety of operations. Included is the 2019 transit of Evergreen's 369-meter long or 1,210 feet Triton, which became the largest vessel in dimension and container cargo capacity to transit the Panama Canal since the inauguration of the Neo-Panamax locks in June 2016. Since then, other ships with the same dimension and container cargo capacity have also transited the waterway, including the Talos and Theseus, among others. In addition to this increased length overall, the canal announces that it is now offering 15.24 meters or 50 feet draft, the highest level allowed at the waterway. Increased rainfall and successful water management at the Gatun Lake had capped the draft at 14.93 meters or 49 feet since April 2021. Given the shorter traveling distance and larger capacity it offers, the canal reduces vessels' fuel consumption and therefore emissions, having a positive impact on the reduction of global greenhouse gases compared to other routes. The canal is focused in reducing its own carbon footprint, establishing a roadmap to become a carbon-neutral entity by the end of the decade, while maintaining its commitment to participate in environmental efforts in the maritime industry worldwide. Currently, it is 28 degrees Celsius here in Ciudad de Panama. May Davila, Eagle News, vivimos en tiempos interesantes. Back to you.
In Canada, the province of Alberta is on the verge of finally eliminating COVID-19 restrictions following a remarkable case count drop. In Alberta, Bureau Chief Thomas Likeness joins us this evening with the details. Thomas.
Thanks, Ace. And oh, what a difference a month makes. You know, a month ago today, Alberta had the highest rate of COVID-19 infection in North America, more cases per capita than anywhere else on the continent. Almost 650 people were being treated in hospital, nearly 200 of them in intensive care. Well, that was then. This is now. Within 30 days, the province has seen its active case count drop from more than 22,000 to less than 3,000 today. So what happened? First, if there are any skeptics watching this broadcast, please pay attention. Two things brought the case count down. One, some tough public health restrictions, lockdown. Number two, an aggressive immunization program. So all of those things you guys protested about got us to where we are today. And we're inching toward what I'll call COVID freedom. COVID freedom. Don't you like the sound of that? Likely by this weekend, 70% of Albertans above the age of 12 will have received their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. And then we begin a 2-week countdown. And at the end of that 2 weeks, stage 3 of the province's reopening strategy kicks in. Stage 3, incidentally, is when life returns to normal. And that's what I call COVID freedom. Most restrictions will be removed. Oh, yes, there'll be some for nursing homes, long-term care centers, and the like. And people who test positive for COVID, well, they'll still have to isolate. But, you know, things like indoor social gatherings. Any of you remember those? Well, we'll be allowed to have those again. You know, after 16 months of being a virtual hermit, this is going to be a drastic change for me. But a word of caution here. for COVID freedom to remain, for this to be sustainable, it's going to depend on two things. This one we will have control over, and that's everybody getting that second dose of the vaccine. This one, not so much do we have control over. Will there be further variants of the virus that are resistant or totally immune to the vaccine? That we don't know. But for now, things are looking good. And, I, for one, can't wait for that countdown to begin. In Edmonton, Canada, Thomas I. Likeness, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Ace.
Thank you so much, Thomas. How is the government promoting its immunization program to encourage everyone to get that second dose and towards that COVID freedom?
Oh, we've got incentives. We've got more incentives. Our Premier, Jason Kenney, he's beginning to look like a TV game show host. That list of prizes just keeps growing. Step one is he announced $1 million prize to get the number of people with a first dose up to that 70% level, and we're 0.5% away right now. Then the government promised $2 more $1 million prizes to be awarded, one in August and the other in September. That's to encourage people to follow through with a second dose. But is that all? No. Today, the province announced there'll be 40 travel-related packages added to the prize list. This, again, to encourage people to get that second shot. And these prizes will include luxury vacations to resorts, domestic and international flights to a destination of your choice. And if you miss out on those, you can still win bonus points from one of 2 Canadian airlines. And all people have to do is roll up their sleeves and get jabbed. Ace?
It sounds like, for a little bit there, you sounded like a game show host. So
Yeah, be the announcer on Let's Make a Deal or something.
But okay, all right. So it sounds like pretty much like the Vax-A-Million program from Ohio, right?
Oh, yeah,
so,
we borrowed on that.
Right. I'm pretty sure there are critics who say the government shouldn't be spending taxpayer dollars and bribing people to get vaccinated or at least get the second dose. What do you say about that?
We'll look at that. First of all, the travel packages, they're being donated by 2 airlines up here in Canada, Air Canada and WestJet. So cost there is not an issue. But let's look at the 3 $1 million prizes. Where's that money coming from? It's coming out of the Alberta health budget. What? You're taking healthcare money and giving it away as a prize in a contest? Well, you can argue that if we achieved herd immunity, the savings will be many times more than the prize payout. Just consider the number of people in hospital and what it costs to keep them there. I checked with the Canadian Institute for Health Information data this morning. It indicates the average COVID-related hospital stay costs $23,000. So let's take that $23,000, divide it into the $3 million, and you get 131. So if you reduce the patient count by just 131 people, you would break even. Now, again, 30 days ago, we had nearly 650 people in hospital. And at that rate, at that particular time, it was costing the healthcare system nearly $15 million to treat these people. So if it costs just $3 million in prizes to get us to that herd immunity and reduce the number of people in hospital with COVID, I think we're getting pretty good value for our money. Ace?
I would agree with that. And not only you said the price payout, the savings would be greater than the price payout. You said,
like I said, you reduce your patient count by 131 people, you've saved $3 million.
That's true.
So
that's true. And the profit for these sponsors, it's going to be tenfold when everything opens up. Travel will be available to everyone, so it's going to be profit will be bigger, a lot bigger.
Definitely, the economy rebounds. So yeah, it on the surface you might say, well, we're taking money out of the healthcare pot, but it really does make good economic sense.
Well, let's talk about the medical community. How are they feeling about the province ending most COVID restrictions?
I think if you talk to any doctor, nurse, healthcare worker, they're going to feel like I do. we can't wait for COVID freedom, but they're nervous. And I'll tell you what's making them nervous. It's the Delta variant. It's showing up in your country as well. And we've talked about the Delta variant before when I've been on the broadcast. It's more contagious, I should say, more virulent, which means if you do get infected by it, the infection is going to be more serious, and infected patients actually have a greater chance of landing in hospital than those infected with the original variant. Most worrisome is it's shown some resistance, not total resistance, but some resistance to the vaccine. So people in healthcare are being cautious. They're warning about, well, let's hope we don't have a fourth wave this fall. You know, in the United Kingdom, a surge in the number of people infected with the Delta variant there prompted the government to slow down the country's reopening and actually pause the next stage by 1 month. So again, the big fear in Alberta among medical experts is we may be moving just a little bit too quickly. Ace?
Thank you so much, Thomas Likeness, Alberta, Canada.
You take care, Ace, and we'll talk to you at the round table.
All right, see you later. In New Jersey, the utility shut-off moratorium for residents impacted by the pandemic ends with a 6-month grace period given to customers who need to apply for payment assistance plans. In Sicklerville, EBC's May Ann Manzano Guerzon tells us more. May Ann.
Thank you, Ace. Governor Phil Murphy signed Executive Order number 246, ending the moratorium on utility shut-offs as of July 1, 2021, that was put in place due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The executive order also establishes a 6-month grace period in which strong customer protections that were put in place through the moratorium will continue through December 31, 2021, giving customers facing utility arrearages the opportunity to sign up for payment assistance plans. The grace period also enables the state to consider how it could leverage federal funding to expand eligibility criteria so more customers could apply for assistance plans. During the grace period, no residential customers will face disconnection of their gas, electric, or water services before the end of the grace period on December 31. Take a look.
I am signing an executive order today ending the formal moratorium on utility shutoffs as of July 1st, and then at the same time creating a grace period that will run through the end of this calendar year, during which time customers facing utility arrearages will be protected from shutoffs. This grace period is for customers to enroll in payment assistance plans, and this is something that we're taking very seriously. And please allow me to be perfectly clear on something. No one will face disconnection of their gas, electric, or water services before the end of the grace period on December 31st, 2021. Households with residential internet service accounts currently being used by school-age children for educational purposes will also be protected from disconnection. This policy is consistent with the legislation I signed earlier this month allowing for the termination of the public health emergency. That law allowed several executive orders, including the one instituting the utility shutoff moratorium, to remain in effect until January 1st, 2022, in recognition of the fact that hundreds of thousands of New Jerseyans are facing utility arrearages and need some time to get back on their feet. Everyone deserves the opportunity to work with their utility provider on payment options that will ensure these vital and in some cases life-preserving services and that they be maintained. We fully expect every utility provider to work with their customers in good faith.
This 19 numbers, the Department of Health has reported another 224 new positive cases today, bringing our statewide total to 890,696. Sadly, we are also reporting 7 new confirmed deaths, pushing the total to 23,667 fatalities. But on the brighter side, the latest total of fully vaccinated individuals in New Jersey is now 4,627,717. To know the latest on New Jersey's vaccination progress, visit covid19.nj.gov/vaccine. And Ace, for a quick weather update, it's currently clear here in New Jersey. It is 64 degrees Fahrenheit, or 18 degrees Celsius. In Sicklerville, New Jersey, May and Manzano Garzon, Eagle News, we live in interesting times. Back to you, Ace.
Thank you, Mayanne. So why? What's the reason behind the establishment of a 6-month grace period?
Well, Ace, as the state officials said earlier in the COVID briefing, it's the fact that COVID restrictions are being lifted here in the state, and people have been out of work. Those who have been out of work are re-entering employment, and the 6-month grace period is just right to allow people time to apply for assistance and get the help that they need. So residents here in New Jersey, Ace, are being encouraged to apply for help with their utility bills and arrears by visiting nj.gov/dca/dcaid before the 6-month grace period ends. Ace.
Pretty generous. So, okay, you said your report about utility moratorium. Are there any updates on eviction moratorium?
As per Governor Murphy, also during the COVID briefing, no news or updates to make on the eviction moratorium, but he hopes to come to a resolution that has elements that are similar to this utility moratorium. Just like to give people a date in the future and a transition period, so we could also prepare, or residents who might need the assistance in the eviction moratorium may also prepare for before the end of the moratorium. There should also be a grace period like this one, like what you said, a generous grace period like this one. Ace.
Most likely another 6 months for eviction.
Most likely.
Pretty generous. New Jerseyans you guys got it good. Thank you so much, Manzano Garzon, Sicklerville, New Jersey.
Thank you, Ace.
When we come back, live reports from Pennsylvania, Ohio, and California. Eagle News America. We'll be right back.
Factual.
We have to defeat the virus everywhere.
Timely information. Balanced, not only in the country, but also abroad.
I'm certain of one thing.
Interviews that people need to know. Watch Aguila Pilipinas. A 1-hour newscast of reports coming from regional hubs in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Know the important updates in Asia in ASEAN in Focus. Track the latest stories in the provinces in Aguila Probinsya. Tune into Mata ng Aguila, the evening primetime news program of Net25. Balanced and objective, Mata ng Aguila covers national and international issues, tackles news on business, health, science and technology, entertainment, sports and human interest features, and current events. And Eagle News International delivers the latest global reports, impartial, accessible, and up-to-date. It brings to fore EBC's rich international scope and access to valuable information streams.
Well, thank you to explain our health outdoor.
Catch these programs on Net25. You can also watch our news programs through eaglenews.ph and Eagle News Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Welcome back. You are watching Eagle News America. Over 400,000 unemployed Pennsylvanians file for benefits using the state's new claim system. To tell us more, Bureau Chief Myla Simbulan is with us tonight. Myla.
Hi, Ace. So last Tuesday, Pennsylvania Department of Labor and Industry launched a new unemployment benefit system. It's a faster and easier to use system that will help Pennsylvanians in filing their unemployment benefits. The new Unemployment Compensation or UC system replaces a 40-year-old outdated mainframe that made filing for unemployment benefits complicated for users and processing benefits cumbersome for staff. The new system makes filing for benefits easier and faster for users. Staff will need less time to process claims, which is expected to help reduce the number of users waiting for their claim to be processed. Department of Labor and Industry Acting Secretary Jennifer Berrier announced today that more than 400,000 people have successfully used Pennsylvania's new Unemployment Compensation or UC system, roughly the same number as before its launch on June 8, indicating an overall effective transition. Let's take a look.
Day. In the past 8 days, we've had just under 367,000 individuals with unique Social Security numbers file for their weekly benefits, either using the online system or by phone. And we've had more than 40,000 individuals with unique Social Security numbers open a new claim for benefits. These numbers are tracking with the amount of weekly claims and new claims we were seeing filed on the old system. So we believe that the majority of individuals are successfully able to log in and file using the new system. In fact, we've already paid out $303.5 million in benefits since this new system came online last Tuesday. Now we are still.
On Thursday, LNI will launch a new text feature that will have staff connect with individuals. LNI will be sending texts to individuals, notifying them that staff will be calling. The goal of the new texting system is to increase the rate that individuals answer calls from LNI, saving time for both parties. It is important to note that LNI will not be asking for individuals' personal information or to click any links in the text message. Text messages that ask for personal information or contain links are likely fraudulent. LNI will only be notifying individuals of an imminent incoming call from staff. Since the launch of the new system as of 10 a.m. to today, Wednesday, June 16, 366,934 individuals with unique IDs have filed for weekly benefits. 68,579 of these individuals filed using the Pennsylvania teleclaims file by phone system. 40,335 individuals with unique IDs have filed new claims, and 303,527,436 in payments have been issued. Right now, Ace, weather here in Swarthmore is 74 degrees Fahrenheit or 20 degrees Celsius with clear skies. In Swarthmore, Pennsylvania, Myla Simbulan, Eagle News, we live in interesting times. Back to you, Ace.
Thank you, Myla. Usually when you roll out a new system like this, it's met with negative reactions. How are the Pennsylvanians reacting to this new online system?
Yeah, that's a good point. So those who were able to successfully use the system were thrilled and how user-friendly it is. But, you know, as any new system, there's a small percentage of users who are experiencing an issue logging in, especially logging in with their Keystone ID or when they attempt to change their payment type. So this issue has been identified, and I think it's related to server connectivity, and a fix is already underway. But according to Acting Secretary Berrier, LNI are continuing to monitor the system and have staff ready to identify and resolve any issues that might arise. Ace?
So I'm pretty sure there are users who are not tech savvy and those who once in a while would require guidance. How does the Department of Labor address these concerns?
So the Department of Labor, to support all these individuals that, as you say, not tech savvy, for them to learn the use system, LNI has been provided consistent messaging to them with directions, tips and tricks, and all those things. And this, in order for them to learn all these things, they have different ways. Like there's videos, there's also slideshows, walkthroughs of the new system and social media. There are quick tips on their website. They also send out direct emails to individuals containing information that most commonly heard feedback. There's also banners at the top of the benefits.uc.pa.gov, and updates are always there on uc.pa.gov. And there's also support through the Unemployment Compensation Service Centers. And individuals who are still unable to file or would like to provide feedback on the new system, they should contact LNI by phone or email. Ace?
Thank you so much, Myla Simbulan, Swarthmore, Pennsylvania.
Thanks, Ace.
Several stories from Ohio tonight. Bike and treadmill company Peloton is bringing business to the state. Plus, Ohio Senate cuts the proposed broadband funding. Eagle News correspondent Rani Bayuga is with us this evening with the details. Rani.
Thank you, Ace. Peloton, the popular stationary bike maker, is coming to Ohio, investing about $400 million in Troy Township, Ohio, here in Wood County. Their new facility will be called Peloton Output Park. The facility will sit on 200 acres of land. Peloton's bikes are currently manufactured mostly in Taiwan. This will be their first U.S. factory. Peloton is working with the community leaders here in Ohio, such as Jobs Ohio. This new facility will help Peloton serve its huge U.S. customer base. Governor Mike DeWine states Ohio is excited to partner with Peloton's forward-looking leadership team in developing a new state-of-the-art facility using connective technology and creating 2,174 new manufacturing jobs in Wood County. In other news, Ohio State Senate cuts proposed broadband funding. This project should have been able to provide affordable high-speed internet to lower-income families. Lieutenant Governor Jon Husted voices his disappointment. Kids can't do their homework. Mom and dad can't work remote. Senior citizens don't have access to doctors through telehealth. We've got to get this going. Lieutenant Governor Jon Husted has also been working hard to attract more jobs to Ohio with the Tech Cred programs to help companies provide courses to help their staff upgrade their skills, as well as other education programs for high school and college students, programs that hope to keep talent in Ohio. Last week, he was at the groundbreaking for the new cross-country mortgage facility in Cleveland. And First Solar is also planning to invest another $680 million to build its third factory in Ohio, adding another 500 jobs. Jobs you can find at ohiomeansjob.com. And currently, the COVID-19 updates, vaccinations is now at 46.4%. That's 5,423,850 Ohioans who have received at least one shot of the COVID-19 vaccines. And the key indicators are now showing that there are a total of 1,107,982 confirmed cases of COVID-19. In the last 24 hours, 381 were added, and there are now 20,122 deaths. In the last 24 hours, 0 were added. Perrysburg, Ohio, Rani Bayuga, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Ace.
Thank you, Rani. Okay, so Peloton bikes, there are reports that it's vulnerable to malware attacks. Any update on that?
So Peloton has actually released their security patch for this, But what the vulnerability is for those bikes that are accessible to the public. So bikes in hotels and whatnot, they can connect a USB drive and basically compromise the whole system. And they can watch you through their camera, listen to you through the mic. They can also install apps like Netflix and whatnot to gather more information about you. And they also can locate other Peloton bikes. Peloton also had another security vulnerability that they were also able to fix. It was people's data, like their weight, their age, and their amount, how much workout they were doing. Those stats are being leaked out. So there's some challenges, and things are starting to work out for Peloton as they fix these issues.
That's quite scary in a way, But
it is. But this is the new world that we're living in. So gas companies are being hacked. So there's going to be a lot of security things that we have to look forward to in the next few years. That's something that's our new life here, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure the company's trying to address that and reassuring the public, the users at least.
Yes.
The security is top notch. Okay, so update us on the Vax-A-Million winners.
Vax-A-Million winners. There's one lady, Suzanne Word in Finley. She is now a millionaire. She won the $1 million prize. And a Sean Horning in Cincinnati won the full ride education trip for his college education. So really good prizes. There's one more drawing next week, and that's the last one. Hopefully I win.
Congratulations to the winner, and I'll wait for that Randy Bayuga announcement, the next millionaire. Thank you, Randy Bayuga, Pearisburg, Ohio.
Thank you.
Disney theme parks in California align pandemic safety protocols with the state's full reopening. What does this mean for patrons of the happiest place on earth? Eagle News correspondent Jade Farron has the details. Jade.
Thank you, Ace. Summer is just around the corner. Many students are officially on their school break vacation, and Los Angeles County has fully reopened in alignment with California's June 15th opening day. So it is only natural that parents throughout Los Angeles are planning their family activities and listing the different places where they can visit for everyone to enjoy. A major attraction that will most likely be on that to visit list is Disneyland, as this destination is popularly known to many Angelinos, young and old, as the happiest place on earth. Disneyland Resort and its two theme parks, Disneyland and Disney's California Adventure in Anaheim, also update their safety precautionary protocols to align with the state's full reopening guidelines. So what does that mean for Los Angeles residents planning to go to Disneyland with the entire family? First of all, Disneyland Resort theme parks welcome back all out-of-state guests, discontinued and regardless of their vaccination status. Secondly, on-site temperature checks are discontinued and are no longer done before entrance to the parks. Thirdly, physical distancing between guests is no longer required, but families may continue to do so at their discretion. A major change is that those fully vaccinated are no longer required to wear face coverings, whether outside or inside, throughout the parks. When indoors, those who are not fully vaccinated from 2 years old and above must still wear their face coverings, but can take them off when eating or drinking. Disneyland Resort theme parks will not request any proof of vaccination status, but everyone will be required to affirm that they are aware and informed of the state's recommended guidelines to be fully vaccinated or have tested negative for COVID-19 prior to entering any theme parks. The Toy Story parking site will open again to the public this June 18th. And when this happens, both vaccinated and unvaccinated guests who are 2 years of age and older must wear face coverings when being transported to the bus from the lot to the parks. In Oxnard, California, Jade Farron, Eagle News, we live in interesting times. Back to you, Ace.
Thank you, Jade. So what are the new attractions there at Disneyland and Disney's California Adventure?
Ace, everyone here is talking about the Avengers campus at Disneyland California Adventure. It actually just opened earlier this month. It's the newest attraction, bringing the world of superheroes into a real experience for guests. Anyone can explore and immerse themselves while meeting up with their favorite Avenger. Rides that can be found there where the entire family can be part of are Web Slingers, a Spider-Man adventure, and Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Outbreak. Ace?
That's totally lit. What they say. Okay, how about you? Any plans? You and your family, your friends, you plan to visit Disneyland soon this summer?
Yeah, many of my friends actually have visited Disneyland recently. My whole family has been itching to go back to Disneyland soon. Hopefully, we'll find time to go this summer because I really miss their churros.
Well, where else can you get the best churros but in the happiest place on earth, right? Thank you so much, Jade Farron, Oxnard, California. A report from Washington State, EBC Food, and tonight, roundtable, if we have time, the perfect combination, iced tea plus you and me.
Hey there, Arnie Aquino here at Hatley Castle, one of the filming locations for the X-Men series. Don't forget to tune in to Digital Nest only on Net25.
Welcome back. This is Eagle News America. Let's check in with Eagle News correspondent Michael Hudson in Washington as the Evergreen State prepares for a full reopening come June 30th. Michael.
Thanks a lot. So the big story coming out of Washington State today is that Governor Jay Inslee held a press conference touching upon the grand reopening that's supposed to happen in the state on June 30th. According to Governor Jay Inslee, and I quote, "Many people, including myself, are eager for our state to fully reopen. I have said repeatedly we are going to do this on June 30th or when we hit 70% of people 16 and up initiating vaccinations, whichever happens first. I'm hopeful Washingtonians will get vaccinated for their own health and that of their loved ones and to help move our state closer to full reopening. For those who would advocate changing our strategy, we are on the 2-yard line. We are not going to change the game plan now. We are going to see this through," and I end quote. As of right now, there are 447,000 positive COVID-19 cases and 5,842 deaths. And with that being said, the focus right now is upping the amount of vaccinations that are being administered within the state of Washington. And the current vaccination rate right now is at 67%, which is just 3% away from what Jay Inslee desires, which is 70%, which he has stated is one of the main variables in order for the state to fully reopen. From Seattle, Michael Hudson, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you.
Did you know that June is the National Iced Tea Month? Let's talk about a little bit of history. According to nationaldaycalendar.com, iced tea was first concocted as early as the 1870s. An English merchant by the name of Richard Bleckenden brought the beverage to popularity at a 1904 World's Fair in St. Louis, Missouri. Bleckenden crossed the Atlantic to sell black tea, steeped hot, and served to the American public. However, temperatures were extremely hot, so fairgoers were interested in cooler beverages. Bleckenden had to switch strategies, so he brewed a stronger tea and poured it over ice. And there you go, we had iced tea. Okay, we'll ask our team tonight, what's your favorite iced tea recipe, best flavor, and what's your favorite snack to go with it? Let's start with Jaden. Jaden. Oh, Jade. Jade. Okay. What's your favorite iced tea recipe or flavor?
I personally love me some raspberry iced tea. I think that's just black tea with just raspberry flavoring, and that drink going along with some chicken wings sounds like a good time to me.
That's a good choice. Chicken wings and iced tea. Very good. And with who?
Any friends or family, really. The more the merrier.
Okay. All right. Safe answer. Thank you. We'll ask Rani. Rani, okay. So your perfect iced tea recipe or flavor?
It's gonna be the lemonade iced tea. I love the lemonade iced tea. It's just classic flavor. So that's my fave. Unsweetened, of course.
Sweetened. Wow. Okay. And what snack do you prefer to go with it?
Man, those chicken wings sound good, but I also like a nice salty chip with maybe some dill pickles on the side.
Ooh, that just made the senses in my mouth burst a little bit. Thomas, all right. What's your poison?
Okay, my poison is homemade poison. No sweetener in it, just a lot of lemon juice. So you got a really strong tea that's been diluted a little bit. Add about a third of a cup of lemon juice to this big pitcher. Cool it down. Throw in some ice cubes, and man, you've got just a great drink that'll cool you down on a hot summer day. But no sugar. I don't like any of that store-bought stuff either. That's just soda pop. That's just soda pop. And I got to go with Rani on the snack. Rani, chips are just great with something like that. That brings back salt into your system that you lose on a hot summer day. Ace?
You were describing that lemonade. I was thinking about a pitcher full of ice and moist outside, and it's sunny.
Exactly.
You sit on the porch. Okay. All right. That's enough. Man, okay, share with us your favorite.
Well, Ace, mine would be the classic plain iced tea. My only wish is that, I don't brew my own iced tea or make my own iced tea just like Thomas. But my only wish is when eating at restaurants, high-end or not, my only wish is that they serve the real brewed kind and not the instant powdered ones, because I can totally taste the difference. And much as I would like to be healthy like Rani to always opt for unsweetened, I'm not gonna lie, I like mine sweet, a little sweet, not too sweet, but not unsweetened. So, and yes, I would copy that answer. And I like my sweetened iced tea, brewed iced tea with chips to balance the sweet and the sour or salty, because I like sour cream chips or just classic potato chips.
Classic potato chips. Okay, and the best person to share it with?
With my husband, who loves chips and sweetened iced tea. And also I share some to the little one, but just so he could taste. Taste.
Thank you for sharing, Mayan. Myla, okay, share with us your favorite iced tea recipe or flavor.
All their iced tea recipes sound so good, so I'm getting hungry right now. But my favorite one is, I also brew, just like Thomas, I also brew my own green tea, Japanese green tea, iced tea, because I love drinking green tea. So I decided just to brew it myself, put it in the refrigerator, put ice on it. And we'd also, like Rani and Thomas, with no sugar, because we're trying to avoid sugar as well.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, and sorry. And the favorite snack that goes with it is boy bawang. I don't know if anyone no boy bawang. The garlic flavor boy bawang. Yep, that's my favorite.
Love that. How about you, Ace?
I like the boy bawang idea, but I would have some sort of like an egg pie or something. Yeah, or a cassava cake or something with it. I go for the classic sweetened.
Sweets.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Before we end our show, we remember to thank our frontline workers, first responders, and essential workers with a round of applause. That is today's Eagle News America. I'm Ace Ramirez. Thank you for joining us. We live in interesting times.